A Being in the Book of 7 Pages. A Visionary Directing Dream by Amir Tuchman. A dream came to me at the time when, in my research, I was dealing with the biblical days of creation. One of the central subjects of disagreement between modern science and the biblical narrative is the duration and sequence of the creation stages. Like others, I found myself in dispute, torn between believing in the miraculous origins of the universe or what seems logical, scientifically proposed model. In the dream, I found myself in the presence of a very tall and glimmering being who had introduced me to a book. The book was massive and had only 7 pages. The mysterious being had told me to read from the book and explain the meaning of it. I began to read and interpret, but that being said, I was wrong and should try again. This process was repeated several times with no progress. It seemed that I could not understand the hint within the mystifying book. So, the being had forwarded me to the last and 7th page, which differed from the previous 6. Instead of a written script, it contained several horizontal lines. At this moment, however, the being had pushed me into the page. Thus, if I would describe my experience in slow motion, it would be as follows. As my face came closer and closer to the surface of the page, the horizontal lines had turned into slits that began widening, forming extensive openings through which I could look and see captivating images. This process was repeated 7 times, line after line, slit after slit, image after image. So, this was the slow-motion description of my experience. Yet in the dream, it all happened in a split moment, and my exposure to the enigmatic images was extraordinarily brief and followed by the verbal explanation from the glimmering tall being. He told me, "Your counting the days of creation is wrong. These 7 phases were not the earthly days, but the days of the world's maker." I awoke from this dream trembling, overwhelmed by the experience, and with a new direction of thought, which allowed me to analyze the biblical narrative of creation from a different angle. Thus, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into their places. The dream had been materialized and resulted in a series of paintings accompanied by explanatory poems titled, "The 7 Phases Days of Creation."